Alright, welcome to the first episode here of Left Lovers. I'm gonna not count my first episode from the past, even though it was a good, valiant effort on a first try, and I had no idea what I was doing, and I still don't, really. But I wanted to give you guys, a little something different than what we currently have. We have a fair amount of progressive media out there, and they're all chasing their tail, in my opinion. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to recycle the same nonsense or whatever. I want to provide counter arguments to nonsense. I want to provide a platform in which I can debate a topic with somebody or just inform people about it myself. And part of the reason why I'm here doing this video is because of the crazy amount of censorship I have experienced on Facebook and Twitter. Both have deleted profiles for things that would normally be constitutionally protected. And with that said, uh, we need a national, like a nationalized, like Facebook or something, like a socialized social media, something federally run, so that way your rights are actually protected. Uh, but anyway, that's a different topic for a different time. Maybe I'll bring it up at the end of the video. But about me, my name is Matthew. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. About to be 30 years old. I've been working my entire adult life, and quite frankly, I'm taking a break. I need it. But right now, um, I just live in a standard two-bedroom apartment with my girlfriend and live my life and do the best I can. But I'm tired of the suppression and censorship of social media. So I'm going to dedicate my energies, plural, to this and a podcast in an attempt to get my voice just to be heard, because that's really all I wanted. I just want to be able to fucking talk. Anyway, I grew up in a poor to middle class, like lower middle class at some points, lifestyle. Didn't I moved around a lot. I went to 13 different schools. Uh, before high school even began, I think I was at 12. But um, I'm not somebody who's gonna blow smoke up anybody's ass or hero worship anybody. I'm somebody that just has come from the roots. You know, I'm just a regular person. And I think we need that. We need less of these people that stick in their little studio by themselves and, quite frankly, sell you bullshit for clicks and views. Me, again, as I said, I'm an independent, mind, independent thinker, and I wasn't always political. I'd make little comments here and there uh, regarding like political parties when I was in high school. I didn't understand any of it, so I'd be like, "Damn Republicans" or "Damn Democrats," and I literally wouldn't understand any of it because it just wasn't in my realm. But as I got older and things have progressively, uh, you know, become more in your face or real problems because you realize your friends, they, for example, I had a friend who was bisexual when we were young. I don't think the term, gender, uh, or yeah, non-binary was like a term yet, and then so we weren't even thinking about it. But who knows what that person was suffering like? And now, you know, it's clearly, it's not in my face. It's just more apparent, and my my worldview adapts like that. And unfortunately, I wish the world wasn't like that, because nobody cares until it happens to them. Whether it's Medicare for all and you see somebody literally go bankrupt for healthcare debt, or their house, uh, they get foreclosed on because they lost a job for something that wasn't their fault. Whatever the case is, right? Things become more clear when you are dealing with it or confronted with it or you embrace it. Things become clear. With that said, my background, my political background was mainly uh, just obscurity. But in 2012, I actually came across a Ron Paul campaign, and at the time I didn't know anything. I was just like getting into it, you know, and I didn't really have a concept of socialism or capitalism. I didn't care. What I heard was end the wars, bring every soldier home, end the war on drugs. And I wasn't somebody who had been in trouble at that point with anything. And these things just sounded so radical to me that I was a supporter of Ron Paul in 2012. I didn't go and vote for him because, quite frankly, I just didn't care enough. But that was my political awakening. And for years, I stagnated towards, the middle, and Bernie Sanders came along. And, of course, progressive, so-called progressive media, at the time, helped bring me more to the left. And since then, I've surpassed them, But I would be lying if I didn't say, like, thanks to, unfortunately, TYT back in the day when shit wasn't so fucking dumb. And, the Rational National when he wasn't basically just making excuses for people, secular talk. Like, I used to idolize these people in a way. I used to seriously just sit there and watch their shows to be informed, and sometimes I'll click back to see what's going on. But I've realized that I can't depend on all of these people to express my point and or my opinions, and that's what I'm here to do. So, and of course, when Bernie Sanders uh, came around, it was a big moment in my life. So I really don't want to, like, hang my hat on the Bernie Sanders campaign, either of them, or really my activism, because it expands more than just the Bernie stuff and Medicare for all. It spans more than that. It spans going back to like 2014, 2013, when I would encounter the Free Palestine protests outside of my work, and eventually I just joined them in the protest because they explained to me that something our media was not covering when we're dropping hundreds of bombs an hour. But anyway, I've moved beyond most of the progressive media, and as much as I love, like, shows that are the gateway, the entrance to leftism, they stop short. Almost every single one of these. And no disrespect to people, but you're holding everyone back when you won't move beyond the same opinions and same worldview that you've had for the last, like, 10 years. So, with that said, I really, what I think these shows do good at, again, is just opening the door. But that's it. They stay there. And then next thing you know, you have somebody like Vosh, like, just hooking people into this nonsensical liberal bullshit, like making excuses for politicians, and beyond that, like, making up hypotheticals to justify voting for, like, for example, made a hypothetical situation of if Vladimir Lenin would have voted for Biden, and he did this whole stupid, absurd video about, oh, like, look, socialist, I'm right, haha. You know, it wasn't, that's not informative. That's just like, I did 2 seconds of research, I gotcha, haha. You know, it's nonsense. I don't want to be like that, but I will give you, you know, something that these other things don't have, and quite frankly, it's me, my perspective, my point of view, my history, and my ability to listen to others and change my point of view. So with that said, I do want to give you a little bit of background about some of the things I said at the Bernie Sanders protest outside of the DNC in 2020. This is just an example of some of the things that I've said.
For progressives, have you seen anything from Biden or the Democrats as kind of overtures that they understand the importance of progressives, young people, and they're actually going to listen to if elected?
No. I mean, when it came to Medicare for All, for example, I mean, at least Hillary Clinton, she had a lower age to qualify for Medicare, even though she wasn't going to go for Medicare for All. And as far as I'm concerned, Biden has just given the finger to the left this entire campaign, all the way from, you know, the beginning of the primary, pretty much. I don't believe that he has done anything to court us. If anything, it's just him trying to court anti-Trump Republicans. And it's not even like there's a lot of them, in my opinion.
That's exactly what happened too. Like, I worked in a telecommunications center, and I talked with a lot of conservatives. Some of them would jump ship on Trump. Some of them wouldn't. Like, most of them wouldn't. And so Biden banked his whole election on just anti-Trump Republicans and Democrats and progressives falling in line. And unfortunately, that's what everyone did.
I mean, he did kind of overtake that party, but I don't think it was a good strategy, because this is why I'm here for Bernie. I feel like Bernie could have united the left with the Democratic Party, and we could have much easier taken out Trump. As for the progressives, I feel like they just expect us to fall in line, and it's never been like that for us. We have values. We have to, our votes have to be earned, and that's with policy and solid continuity, and it has to be real. Like, it can't be just something you adopted overnight as a...
That heavy-duty Joe Biden moment right there, continuity. I was trying to think of solidarity.
You know, a punchline to bring people in, to appeal to us. That's why we like Bernie. He's been fighting for the same thing his entire career. I mean, even when he changes, it's literally just because he's become more progressive or somebody made a valid point to him. Joe Biden doesn't care about hearing anybody else's opinion. I mean, you see in Iowa, like when he was confronted about climate change, for example, all he did was go off on the gentleman who was a well-known local person. He just goes off on the people that he's expecting to vote for him, just because they disagree with him on policy. Well, Bernie is not like that. He will listen to you, and even if he disagrees, he's still going to respect you. We don't get that from Joe Biden.
And make sure you press the like buttons. Keep sharing this live stream. Get it out to more people.
That's another thing. Go like Status Coup. Pretty great reporting. The only fucking media on the ground that day. Thank you, Jordan. And, you know, there's other stuff I've done, including the Medicare for All march. You like my little commie Bernie thing there? I've done the Medicare for All march. I've protested inside of police stations to get just the name of the cop that killed one of our citizens, Dontre Hamilton. Shot him a bunch of times in the middle of the park where we were sitting at in that video. That's where our community protests at. We call it Dontre Hamilton Park, but on Google Maps they call it Red Arrow Park. It should be renamed. We've tried to get a petition and everything. But, that's just some of my history, some of the things that I'm about. And if you're like me, if you fit that description, please follow. Please subscribe. And, we're going to break down the news, break down our activism, and whatever the topic is, I'm not afraid. Let's talk. Anyway, thank you for coming over to Left Lovers Leftovers. And I'll see you next time.